Welcome to learning how to play Paragon Monsters of Mayhem. In Paragon, the goal of the game is to strike your opponent's essence and get them down to no essence left, and then strike them one last time for that fatal blow. Paragon consists of an essence deck of 10 cards, a mana deck of 10 to 20, and a main deck of 40 cards. Your main deck consists of creatures, items, spells, and rituals. Creatures are played anywhere into the combat zone, and when they come in, are able to attack any adjacent cards that your opponent controls. And if they're around for an entire turn and are left uncontested, which is not having a permanent your opponent controls next to them, they can strike your opponent. Items are played into the support zone to give you an extra bonus effect. Spells are played, their effect will then happen, and then they will end up in the graveyard. Rituals are also played into the support zone and give you an extra effect. Setup is easy. First, you will determine who goes first. We recommend rolling 2 dice to see who goes first. Winner of the roll will choose to see if they want to go first or second. Once first player has been decided, you will then order and place down your essence deck. Your essence deck can be searched and ordered any way that you see fit. I just recommend right-clicking it, clicking search, and then ordering them however you see fit. Next, you will shuffle your main deck. I recommend just holding over, pressing R. You can also right-click and do shuffle, or click and hold until you're holding your deck, and then shake it. After this, you'll announce which Paragon you are running against your opponent, and then after that, you will draw your first starting hand of 5 cards. I recommend just hovering over it, pressing 5. You could also click draw 5 times. Once you have this, you will then be able to mulligan. Once you have your initial 5 cards, you can then mulligan by placing any number of cards from your hand outside face down and drawing back up to your starting hand size of 5. And then shuffle back in any of the cards that you placed outside. Now that we finished mulliganing, before we go to turns, let's explain contested and uncontested. Creatures or advanced paragons in our game can either be contested or uncontested. A contested creature or advanced paragon is any creature or advanced paragon you control that is adjacent to a permanent that your opponent controls. In this case, our Odious Trickster is currently being contested by the Sprouting Twig Blight. An uncontested advanced paragon or creature is when there are no permanents your opponents control adjacent to your creature. In this case, Odious Trickster is currently uncontested. Now let's talk about turns. During our turn, there are different phases. There is a draw phase, a recovery phase, the main phase, and an end phase. Since we are going first, we'll skip our draw phase and go straight to our recovery phase. During our recovery phase, we will gain 1 mana, and then we will proceed to our main phase. During our main phase, we can rest this mana to play creatures, spells, or items from our hand that currently cost 1, because we're adding 1 mana to our mana pool via our mana shard. We'll play out our Odious Trickster into the combat zone, which will allow us to draw a card and then discard a card. And then once this is done, since we have no other actions, we will pass the turn to our opponent and proceed to the end phase. During the end phase, any HP that creatures lost during the main phase are restored. Remove all remaining mana that was not used from rested mana and other sources. Discard down to your maximum hand size of 7, and then pass the turn to the next player. Our opponent will then proceed to take their first turn. Once they are finished, they'll pass back to us. After our opponent's done with their turn, they'll pass back to us, and we'll proceed to our draw phase, where we'll draw a card. We'll then recover and gain a mana, and then proceed to our main phase. During our main phase, we will rest 2, which then will add 2 mana to our mana pool, and we can play our 50 feet of rope into the support zone. Since Odious Trickster has been out for an entire turn and is currently uncontested, we will strike our opponent. After this, since we are out of mana and we have no other actions for the turn, we will pass to our opponent. Play will proceed back and forth just like this, and we will now jump until some of the end game. Now that we're end game, we're going to go ahead and draw our card for turn. We'll unrest. We'll gain a mana. We'll then go ahead and strike with our uncontested Boaz. Reveal Swift Dodge. Oh no. Go ahead, rest 4, play out a Odious Vanguard, and we'll deal 4 damage down to the Sprouting Twig Blight, and then we'll go strike you for game. And so that is Paragon. Thank you guys for joining us and checking it all out. If you guys have any questions, feel free to join the Discord, let us know, or comment down below. Look forward to playing games with you guys and seeing you guys all on the battlefield. Bye, everybody.